Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. This is Tiger here with Adventure AI, and we are going to be talking about Hardcore League today. Um, I hope everybody's adventures go well. It's been a while. Hardcore League has now been closed for quite a long time. They have launched the Feywild. You can see that's where Mary is hanging out right now. And I thought that what we would do is talk about um, how to do a perfect season, how to go 5 for 5 in the hardcore league and to get all the rewards. You can see that Mary uh, did achieve all the rewards. She got up to 5,000 favor and got the horse. That's the horse she's sitting on. And she got the second tier of Reaper XP, and that's the Archonling, the little pet right there. The cloak I'm not wearing because I like this is the surviving to level 20 from season 1, which I like the best. So that's the cloak that she's wearing. But um, that's my character, Mary, who is the GM of the guild Death Smile. And on the Hardcore League server, this was the tune that I used to go to 5,000 favor. What we'll talk about is how I did that, how I got all the rewards. My particular strategy for doing that is going to be different than somebody else's. These are my recommendations alone. I'm presenting them to you guys so I can help you. You may disagree with what I say. You may not like the advice at all, but what we'll talk about is all the different ways that there are to play DDO. One of the great things about Hardcore League is that you'll meet people on the server from other servers who will show you how to do quests in ways that you never would have figured out, or it would have taken you a while to figure out on your own, because people are very, very good at this game. It's one of the things that I've learned coming over here. Even me, I've played since 2006. I was a beta tester when Turbine was getting ready to launch DDO. And so, I mean, I learn every season for Hardcore League. I learn more from you guys. You guys, there are some of you are fantastic DDO players. It's amazing. So yeah, we'll go over my experience, what I think. I'll just retell what I did, and it's not a guide so much as sort of I'm share my experience with you of the Hardcore League. Some of you know me, some of you don't. If you played on the Hardcore League server, you may have been in Death Smile, you may have been in one of the other great guilds. There are lots of good people. Some of the guilds are very big, some of the guilds are very small. It is an important thing, unless it's one of your specific goals for Hardcore League, to do it ungilded and not have any guild buffs at all. It's always if that's not a goal that you have, it's always a good idea to get in a guild on the Hardcore League, because you will not only get all the guild buffs that the guild has to offer you, but it will give you access to guild chat where you can talk to other players about strategies. You can talk to other players about grouping. There's a lot of LFMs on the Hardcore League server generally, but being in a guild adds another layer for you to sort of meet people and quest with people. And everyone has a unique way of solving problems, so some of the groups you get in may be good, some of the groups you get in may be not so good, depending on what people's goals are for that particular group. But I have to say again, I've met some of the best players, some of the friendliest people. You guys are all fantastic, everyone. And then you get to run with some people that you probably know who stream. I got to run a few quests with Samus. I got to run a few quests with Strimtom. You know, and these guys are around. There's more people. I'm not going to list off everybody that I ran with, but some, you know, it gives you an opportunity to run with some of the people that you watch in the Twitch community, because a lot of them play over there. So I'll go over the plan for what I did. This expansion was not out when I did the Hardcore League season. I am there now because it's cool and I wanted to sort of hang out in this beautiful landscape, and they did such a great job making this a beautiful area. But so I'll go over sort of what I did and how I approached the event. And it's sort of anybody who's looking for suggestions certainly will find valuable information here that will help. So one of the things that I want to say is that there's a few different ways to go about starting. Because keep in mind, when you start on the Hardcore League server, you are starting from scratch. You will have nothing. You're on a brand new server, and the only thing you'll have is whatever is in your character's inventory when you make a new character. This is a very important point because a lot of us who bought older expansions have first time character rewards that need to be claimed on the first character that you make. So it's really important that the first character that you make on the Hardcore League server, you log them in and then take all of this stuff. Go to the bank first. Don't do anything. Just log them in, go to the harbor, go to the bank, and put all of those first time reward items that you got in your shared bank and keep them safe. You know, if you have Illyri, for example, the level 3 gold seal cleric that's permanent, you want to make sure, because she'll show up on that first character that you make, that you put her in your shared bank and have access to her to keep her safe. A lot of you may log in on the first character that you make and play that character, but it's just something that I've seen people do. They'll make the first character and then think, oh, I want to play something else, and delete it, and then you just deleted all the first time rewards. You just deleted them. Another thing that they'll do is they won't go clear out their bank, and then they'll fall and die. And once you go to the Land of Lost Souls on the Hardcore League server, you are stuck there until the after party. So if you die on day 1 of the Hardcore League server, you've got 3 months of sitting in the Land of Lost Souls before you can get that stuff, and you won't be able to use, let's say Illyri was on that character, you wouldn't be able to use that very handy gold seal cleric to, you know, heal you at low level, and then later on she's very useful for getting mana if you play a caster. So what I did specifically, the plan that I had for Hardcore League was to make 2 characters. One character was going to do elite level questing that would go to 5,000 favor. I was do no Reaper questing on this character at all. I would focus all on favor, 5,000 favor, which meant that I was staying in heroics, and I was going to level 20. Because there's 3 rewards. You get your 1750 favor, then you get your 5,000 favor, and you get another reward for hitting level 20. So I created 2 tunes. One character was for favor, one character was for Reaper. Now, a lot of people would say, well, why 2? Why not just 1 and do everything on 1? You certainly can do that. Like I said, this is just what I decided to do. Based on my experience, this is my 3rd Hardcore League season. I've been in them all. I ran Death Smile through all of them. The first Hardcore League I didn't do very well. I focused more on managing the guild. I was new to the whole experience of hardcore. Those of you who did play Hardcore League Season 1, you know that it was pretty crazy. I don't think anybody expected it to be as popular as it was. Um, and it was difficult. If you lived to be level 5 or 10, you were doing really well. We've all since got a lot better, but it was sort of a learning curve that we all got used to. And then season 2, I did 4 out of 5 rewards. I didn't go for the pet. I didn't really like the pet in season 2. Was the that little demon, the ugly little demon thing. I can't remember the name of it. A Gretch or a Dretch, right? I think that's what they're called, Dretch. It was a Dretchling. It's cool. I know people who got it. I ran with them when I was getting my 100k, but I decided I didn't want to do the grind to go get it. But so my plan, in order to sort of maximize my fun quotient and make sure that I didn't have an accident, have some leeway. The previous hardcore leagues, we did not get extra chances. So if you made a mistake at level 30, you were dead at level 30. So I made a favor tune that was going to go for 3 out of the 5 goals. I would do 1750, 5000, and level 20, and I ran everything on elite. That's this tune here. And then I made a Reaper tune that I only cared about Reaper XP, which meant that I was only going for 2 out of the 5 goals, and it was to get to 20 Reaper points, which is 400,000 Reaper experience. What does that mean? Well, that means that I can make a character that I can get to level 30 no matter how I do it. Easy. I can go to level 30 as easy and quick as possible. There's a couple of things about the Reaper tune that you want to think about. You can do any quest level to get to level 30 as fast as you can. Normal questing, you can do elite questing, you could do Reaper questing. However, what I would recommend is not doing Reaper quests in heroic unless you really know the quest. And I mean really know the quest well. Any of the new quests or any sort of quests that people call hard. I mean, let's say even the Butcher's Path in the harbor or Dirks. I mean, people have run those 1,000 times, right? But if you do them on Reaper, you could get a Plague Reaper that spawns or a Famine Reaper that spawns, and if you're not paying attention, something could happen and you could lose a life, or at that level you would die if you went in there too low. I mean, those quests are level 2. The lowest level you'd be able to get your XP on would be level 6, playing in there. So yeah, I mean, level 6, you might think it's a cakewalk, but it's just not worth it. One of the things that has been demonstrated to me over and over and over and over ad nauseum is that Reaper questing in heroic is not worth the trouble. The best plan, if you want to go after the Reaper rewards, is to get to level 30, work on filling your epic destiny of choice, whatever you're going to do. Fill as many as you can, but fill the one of choice that you're going to sit in, and get the twists of fate that you want, and then run Reaper quests at level 30 and have an XP potion running. You can go farm XP potions in the game. You don't need to buy them with DDO points. Any amount of XP, this is another reason why joining a guild is good, because guilds get a 5% bonus once they get to a high enough level. And what'll happen is you will get the first time bonus, and then when you do them Reaper at legendary level, it's the Reaper XP is doubled. So you can snag a lot of XP doing quests for the first time at level 30 on Reaper, whatever level Reaper, Reaper 1, Reaper 3, Reaper 4. I mean, we even did Reaper 5, well, not a lot. I wouldn't recommend Reaper 5s for the Hardcore League, but I was in a really good group and we did a few. Most of the time we ran Reaper 4, some Reaper 3s, and then when I would solo things, which was not often, I also wouldn't recommend soloing Reaper. I did Reaper 1 by myself. But so I had my favor tune, which never did Reaper, although if we were to open my thing, you could see that she actually did some. I got 5 points, but it was more because the group I was in was phenomenal and they were going to do Reaper 1 and I tagged along, to be honest. So many really good players play this game that I was, lucky to get into some really good groups. And so that's what I did to start. Okay, so I thought what I would do is switch over to a brand new tune on the Hardcore League server to talk about some of the things that you would like to do when you first start playing. It's the end of the Hardcore League and everybody has sort of transferred off, although transfers are now suspended. There was an issue. But so I don't have anything left. I transferred most of the stuff that I had on the server off. This character has nothing. I have no money. I have only the stuff in my backpack that spawned when I made the character. I just made the character. I'm in the harbor now. What I'm going to do is I made a clone. This is not the Reaper tune. The Reaper tune that I made, Platinum has since been moved to another live server with all of her stuff, and she was level 30 and all that stuff. But so I just basically remade her. I won't I won't do any Reaper questing now, although I might change my mind about that. But I just made her now to talk about what we want to do for any of you guys out there who are first time or new to the Hardcore League, because you're starting from scratch. And so one of the things I recommend is as soon as you make the character and you go through, you can, once you're in Korthos, you have the ability to leave and to come to the harbor. And the reason I would recommend doing that is because we're going to run to the bank. So this guy here, if you have a high enough charisma on when you first make your character, my charisma is 20. That gives me +5 for certain allure skills, the skills that you use, bluff, intimidate, and diplomacy. But it also boosts your haggle. And I have a 5 haggle because of that. And this guy will give you a reward for having 5 haggle, which is fantastic because not only did I just get 500 XP, which is great, but I get to pick something to use. Now, remember, I have nothing. There's nothing in the bank, although in my bank now, I have been doing gold rolls, and as a season pass holder, I can do a free gold roll every day, so I've been doing a free gold roll. So there are things that I'm planning on taking off server in there, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to imagine that there's nothing. So I'm going to take this robe, and there we go. 500 experience and a free robe. But I just mentioned a good point. Whenever you make your first character on the Hardcore League server, you want to take that first character, and any of these rewards, the first time rewards, will be on the first character you made. So you don't want to make a character and then delete them and then remake because you made the first. You want to take whatever first character that you make, keep, and run them to the bank and put all that stuff in the bank. When you first log in, you will have a gold roll, a free weekly gold roll, and a free silver roll. You want to do that, and it will be 2 experience crystals, and then maybe you'll get lucky and win something very handy. So here's one of the tips. Talk to this dude, Baudry Cartman, and he will give you a small collectible bag, which is right here. This is free, and we need to have this sort of stuff because otherwise your backpacks can fill up really, really quickly. So we're going to ignore everything else, but there is another NPC over here who will give you yet another free bag, and it's Fitzpats the Fence. He will give you a gem bag because he is looking for gems in that quest, and we want to pin that with auto gather. And there, we've got 2 bags so far. That's fantastic. Now you can pick up these quests as you go. Like I said, I'm going to try to not get distracted and just run to the bank, but this guy Felix from House Cannith will also give you a free tiny green bag, which is the 3rd type of a bag that we need. So now we have all of the bags that we need right off the bat. We haven't done anything. We just logged in. We made this character's brand new. Some of you are probably wondering why I made a drow warlock, arguably a tiefling or a dragonborn, or, you know, I mean literally a human. There's so many other. Drow are probably the worst, but it's a flavor thing for me. I really like drow. I've always liked drow since they put them in. So, you know, I like to have one of my characters. Mary is a deep gnome. Actually, she's not a deep gnome. She's a regular gnome. And this tune here is a drow. And she is a Fiend packed warlock. I'll talk to you more about why. And go over what warlock packs I think are good for Hardcore League. But for now, we're just going to focus on a couple of things. The first thing that I said is the most important, and you can see that I've been doing gold rolls. And actually, these are from silver rolls. Some of the things that I've been stowing in the bank, I am going to put whatever else I can put in the bank in the bank. And so I have some of these bundles. Since this character has nothing else, I'm going to wear this stuff that she has. There is a free Lesser Heart of Wood that they give you. She has a couple of tomes. These are cosmetics. I'm not going to put these on. She has her cloak. This is yet another cloak. This pet I can't use because she's already used it, so I'm going to destroy. That's our transport. That's another transport. That's the other transport. Okay. Need to keep that guy. Okay, I don't need that. I need that. And which robe is better? Okay, so this one, the starter robe, is pretty much garbage, but we'll use that and throw out the rags. We need components, and these are the books, so I'm not going to use any of these right now just because it'll take too long. I will, however, use these books. She's got one. This gives her a universal point, and then this one gives her a racial point, and those will help. Oh, we don't want the DDO store. Okay. So now I emptied out my packs. The second thing that I would recommend that you do is join a guild. Look around. You can open the LFM, see who's on, and send them a message. See if they'll invite you. Now, I previously sent myself a guild invitation, so I can join Death Smile. So now I'm in a guild. So why do we do that? Well, we have to remember that we don't have feather falling on, so if we were to fall off of one of these edges now, we would die. And that's true on a guild ship, so you need to be careful if you go to a guild ship. But we go here and get all the buffs. And you can see them all spawning up there. One of the important things on any guild ship, when you join a guild on the Hardcore League server, to keep in mind is to not go looking around on the ship in all the different rooms. People do this and so many people die because they don't realize that one of the rooms, and I'm looking at it right now, this room is the danger room. And you don't need to click this to get buffs. You don't need to go into the room. You can see the exploding barrels from here. You go in there, you die. It's an insta-kill. You cannot avoid it. Maybe if you were a rogue with improved evasion at level 30 and you had temporary hit points or something, you know, or cocoon, maybe you could. I haven't tried it, but at level 1 with 60 hit points, I would be insta-dead. And most guilds pin this room because it does give you useful buffs. So you don't want to go running into random rooms. I think this is the only room that will kill you, but this is, you know, it's just not worth it. So you can get all of the buffs that you need on the guild ship on the top deck. Just get the amenity bar. You can see them filling at the top of my screen there. And call it a day. Remember, you have no feather fall, so don't jump off the side of the boat. You'll probably die. You might not, because you fall into the water and then go to the harbor, but it's just not worth it. You just want to get the buffs and get off the ship. So now, nice and safe. Be really careful around this bridge here. But what I would recommend that you do, you can go to Korthos. But what I would recommend that you do first is go to the Keep on the Borderlands quest pack if you own it. I think everybody gets that. I might be wrong. How do we do that? We do that by going into the Gatekeeper's Grove. This is in the harbor. So when you come in, there's the lighthouse. Korthos Island, the ship is over there if you want to go back. But the Gatekeeper's Grove is right here. And we're going to go to the Keep on the Borderlands. Why, you might say? Why can't I just go back to Korthos? Well, keep in mind, we have nothing. We need to outfit ourselves in order to survive. Survival 101. Now, you can pick up all these quests, but we're not even going to be doing quests out here. We're just going to be going into the Explorer area. See, I grabbed those, but I don't even need them. I have no gear on. Keep in mind, I have no weapon, I have nothing. What we're going to do is farm for some of the chests. In order to get, there is a cloak of feather falling. This is so important to get as soon as you can, because like I said, without that, there's my little dragon, and I am going to try to get well, let's see. I'll respec. I think the most important thing for me to go for first is this magic missile immunity. So I'm going to take that first. So I spent all my points. So there we go. I'm level 1. I have no gear on. We're going to see. We're out in the Borderlands, which is level 1. You can look online for a map that shows you where all the rares are out in the Borderlands. And what this will allow you to do is farm the rares for magic items, level 1 magic items. You can get a Featherfall cloak, you can get weapons, you can get lots of useful things out here. And as a Warlock, I don't need gear to be able to do damage. Now, I have no money, so I can't afford to buy healing potions. So I cannot stay out here for too long. Because if anything hits me and I start to lose health, I have no way to heal. But for now, you can see this stuff is pretty straightforward. As long as I don't allow myself to get swarmed, I can grab some XP and level up to level 2. And hopefully, I can get some chests. See, there's a chest right there. Are there any other monsters nearby that might attack me? No. Oh, yeah, see behind me, there's a blight. You know, if you were to ask me what my least favorite monster in the DDO is, it's those damn blights. So there was the monster, the Mudman for the chest. Here's my first chest. And I got a bunch of stuff. Now, this is fantastic. This is one of the reasons we came out here, and I'm so excited that we got this. Because I got an arcane ingot. This will allow me to go back to town and trade in this one ingot for a magical caster weapon. And this caster weapon will boost my damage. I can, you know, as a Warlock at level 1, and as a Fiend, my damage types are Force and Fire. So I can go back and get an Impulse Scepter or a Fire Combustion Scepter that will boost my damage. Probably if I find another arcane ingot, I'll grab 2. Another thing I got, which is really useful, is a Quail Feather token, which will allow me, if I didn't get a horse from the expansion, or if I don't have a horse on my account from some other location, which for our purposes here, I do actually have the horse from the expansion, but I didn't open it. I'm not going to use it. So these feathers would allow me, if I got, I think it's 20, you know, I can get a horse. And then I got a shield, and this is a buckler. And if you notice bucklers, it's not telling me I have any sort of a fail, an arcane fail. So I can equip this buckler even though I'm not proficient with it. I can equip it, and I will get the benefits of the shield bonus, the magical sheltering, and the acid resistance, even though I'm not proficient with it. While we're here, I'm going to change a couple of things in my UI that I like. Make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to change this to green, and I'm going to show my network status. For those of you who don't know, you can show your network status and see what your latency and loss are. This thing here too, it's important. Right now, this is the you can only die once symbol. This lets me know that I have my guild buffs, and this is the spell that I cast, which is my Expedious Retreat. So I managed to get my stats. I've got some resists now, 5 from the guild, 4 from the item that I just equipped. There's 2 acid from the shield. My armor class is 19, which is not that good, but it's not terrible considering that I have, you know, pretty much nothing on. You can see the damage I'm doing is fire and force. Now you have to be kind of careful running around out here. You don't want to get swarmed. Some of the monsters move pretty fast, but you know, it is a low level area, so as long as you take your time. And on the Hardcore League server, you probably could find people who will come out here with you, which makes it, you get more spawn, so you need to be careful. If you're in a large group, there'll be a lot more monsters spawning. But, you know, you can go through this a lot quicker. Now these guys, the wolves and the goblins, can be really dangerous. You have to be careful. You can see I took some damage. I took 6 points of damage. I have no way to heal that damage, so I have to be very, very careful. The wolves can knock you down. That's something else. Some monsters, wolves in particular, can knock you down. And once you're knocked down, you're considered prone, and they'll be able to hit you and damage you. See, I'm even not knocked down, they're doing pretty good damage to me. 50 hit points, but there is a named guy sometimes over around that corner, and there's a fountain here, and this fountain gives a buff. So I just got water affinity, which is a fantastic buff. Not only do I take less cold damage, but I deal water damage. So you'll see whenever I attack things now, I will be doing
monsters have built a small camp atop this hill, giving them a commanding view of the valley below.
One of the reasons I really like coming out here is because, you know, if you take your time, you can go through these areas. And something else, every time you break an object, like these vases, they have a chance to drop items or money. These crates can drop items or money. So look, that one, I just got copper pieces and potions of healing. And this is something you can do at the beginning when you go into the grotto. If you break all the boxes in the very first time you do it, before you can tell Jeets that you're going to skip the quest, go through and you break all those boxes and you can find potions and money. The great thing is now I've got 3 potions. I can put them on my bar, and now I have the ability to heal myself a little bit. And so here is something you want to pick up, collectibles, because collectibles you can use as a way to generate money in game. You can take these collectibles that you can pick up, and you guys probably already know this, but for those of you who don't, these are used for crafting. You can take these and sell them on the auction house. You can post them in the trade channel and see if anybody is looking to buy them, and you can make some gold. Now this is a pretty dangerous thing. I don't have feather falling and I would need to get down there. There are some ways to do it. If you back up enough and sort of push yourself into a wall as you're falling, that will keep you from bouncing. And there's also steps here that will allow you to sort of, you know, come as safely as you can. But see, like, I'm pushing myself into the wall. I didn't take that much damage. I just took a little once I moved away from the wall. You can also do that sideways. You see where you look like you're kind of surfing. I don't know if I can make her do it again there. See it right there? Because if you just free fall, you'll take damage. But if you can do it where you look like you're kind of surfing, it reduces it. You may still take a little damage, but it's a lot better than just free falling. Free falling, you can drop dead pretty quick. So I'll get myself healed a little. This is an explorer zone over here. Right here.
The water wheel continues to turn at this mill, even though the owners have
fall
long
into
since
water.
fled to the safety of the keep.
You want to be careful running around that you don't get things behind you, and the weird atmospheric effect that you see isn't always there. This is the after party effect. The after party, they allow people who are in the land of lost souls to run around with people who didn't die. It's just because the world itself is dying, it starts to take on like a ghostly look. Yeah, the goblins and the wolves are scary. These archers are not really that bad, although enough of the gnolls can get you. The bears, you don't want to get within melee of these bears. They can hit you pretty hard. I mean, all this stuff, if you're geared up, is a cakewalk, but, when you have nothing, so what you want to do for quite a while is just focus on building up some items of safety and some money. And you can see, again, I don't want to just free fall. I'm looking to sort of jump my way down, and you have to be careful. So there is a space right here that if I push against this wall, I can slide to. And then that's not a far fall, so I'm safe there. These spiders, they made them run really, really slow, so not too dangerous in here. But no, the name spider is up. And for those of you wondering what the noise is, I play on an Xbox controller. I bet I'm one of the few, if I know I'm not the only, but I know I'm in a minority. And the interesting thing about this is, ever since the game launched, I beta tested with this. I submitted bug reports about the controllers, and I've used the controller ever since the game launched. Like, that's just how I play. Some of the keys I use a keyboard, but I map the bar 1. This bar is all mapped to my controller. And you can do that all. I don't run third-party software. You can. You can use Xpatter, which is fantastic software. But I don't. I just use the built-in. So you can see I got another item. This is useless for me, but I'll sell it and make some money. More money. And I got a scroll of shield, which I could use if I came up against something. Since I don't have magic missile immunity right now, I will actually slot that because I can use it. And I got another arcane ingot, so I can go buy the scepter of impulse and the scepter of combustion, which will boost both of my damage types. And you can see why this area is so phenomenal. There, we'll map that. I also will lock it just so I don't accidentally sell it. And then these two things I will sell for money. There is a special chest in here that you can unlock with these crests. If you pick up all 3, you have to fight a little named Dretch, and then the chest spawns.
Dense webs cover the trees
more loot.
in this dark and isolated gorge.
You get the first one in the spider. The second crest is in the lizard man village, and then the third crest is at the top. It looks like Weathertop. It's not. That's Lord of the Rings, but it's sort of like an old, like Amansul, like a destroyed old tower. The third crest is up there. Yes, I'm also a Lord of the Rings nerd. I beta tested Lord of the Rings online as well, and still I have a lifetime account over there that I log in and sometimes play, but not often. That game for me was the best when they released the Mines of Moria. I absolutely loved it, but since then I just got so behind that I don't really know what to do. I log in over there and I just feel lost, so. But at one time, I do really love my my elf home, and sometimes I'll log in and ride to Hobbiton and go hang out at Bag End. Those fire beetles are immune to fire. Yeah, these blights. If I could vote to have one monster removed from the game, it would be the blights. I can't stand them. Cannot stand them.
This hunting lodge has been boarded up and abandoned in the face of ceaseless monster attacks.
This is also an explorer area. I just got it. We're killing things right now for XP. You can see I just got another slaying 50 monsters. So you can make XP. It's not very good. So this is a great place to practice what I was talking about with the sliding. Although this isn't very far, but you see how I just slid there? You can do it. You'll get the hang of it. It's the safest way. Like I said, it's not 100%. You can still take a little damage, but it is 1,000 times safer than just free jumping. I would never just free jump off something, because in this game, if you don't have Featherfall, you die. And it's not that far either. You might think, oh, I can make that. No, don't take a risk. Go experiment on your live server. Don't experiment on the hardcore. Don't go searching guild ships on the hardcore league for rooms that you don't know. Don't practice jumping on the hardcore league. We've got another named here. Pinchy. So you want to do, stay as safe as you can. Because this server, right now, if I die, that's it. One life. We didn't get any ingot. We got another set of those gloves. We got another shield, which is not better than the one that I'm using now. It has a slightly better damage reduction. But it would give me a 15% spell fail, and I don't use combat mastery or repair, so I'm just going to sell that. But it is something to keep your eye out for, whether or not the gear at this low level can help you survive. See, after you get a couple of magic items, we've got the 2 ingots, I can get my weapons, I'm going to get my feather falling cloak. Who knows, I may come across some other useful items out here, some money. I can then go buy some potions. Maybe I can find more potions in here. But once we do that, then we're going to go back to Korthos, and we're going to do all that Korthos stuff. Like I said, whether this tune is your main tune, or whether you're doing multiple tunes and you're doing an elite streak to 5,000 and then a Reaper character, the beginning you can sort of play the same way until you get a power base of money and gear. You can just come out here and farm stuff. I'm gonna drink that. I will use this shrine because it will give me hit points. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't want to lose that ice buff, so I'm not going to shrine. But it would be nice if I could find more potions. But any of the money that I make now, I will take and either go to the pawn shop, and if you don't know what the pawn shop is, I'll go over that. A lot of other people making YouTube videos about DDO. Ginger Spice, if you ever watch his videos, he's phenomenal. I recommend his videos. He goes over why the pawn shop is important, but that's something on the hardcore league which is even more important than on the live servers, because people will get gear and sell it to the pawnbrokers, and then you can go there for very little money. Not as much money as if you go to the auction house, and you can find useful things for your character at low level. See, I just got tripped. That's why these guys are scary, very scary. I haven't even damaged him yet, and he's already tripped me, but... these wolves. Gotta be really careful of the wolves. Especially if they have the little riders on them, because once you kill them, then the riders pop up, so you gotta kill them twice. And I have no way to heal, so if things go bad, it could get very ugly. Oh, there's a couple things we can get here. There is a rare right here. And we gotta watch these wolves. Wolves coming from behind. Okay, look at our chest. Oh, we've got a shield. Now this is a large shield, 15%. It has fantastic damage reduction. But I am not a cleric. This is a cleric shield with hallowed and sacred. This is for people, a character like a paladin or a cleric who would turn undead. The only useful thing about this shield is that it's got a blue slot that you could slot something like a fortification item into. But I got another ingot, and I did get another shield. This is a good shield, not any better than what I have, because silver on a shield really doesn't matter. It would give me +1 saves versus undead. Electrical absorption 10% is okay, but honestly, you know, on elite, when a little shaman, kobold shaman hits you with a lightning bolt, you know, it's for, I mean, they do a lot of damage. 10% of whatever they hit you for probably wouldn't save you. It might. I mean, you know, if it's better than nothing, but... And then negative resistance, you're not running into lots of things that do negative damage at this low level. The arcane skeletons would, if you were fighting a lot of those. But for now, I'll just keep what I have and sell that stuff. There is an explorer area. I think I totally ran past it. It's a hut that's down. Yes, this little fishing shack is an explore area. And there are barrels here. We can break the barrels for money.
A small fisherman's shack stands deserted on the riverbank.
See if we can find more potions. No potions. So 35... as good as that buff is, I don't like how low my hit points are, so I am actually going to use this shrine, because there is another fountain coming up. So this character, like I said, this is my Reaper build Warlock. I have this build listed on the forums if you're curious. There's a link at the bottom of my posts that links this build. I'm not going to be doing Reaper questing on this, but I decided that I would, just for running around, just make this character. Since Mary, who is the little baby bear build, is still on the server because they have transfers off. Hopefully they turn the transfers on soon. Although she'll probably stay till the last day. You can't leave the server if you are GM of a guild and she's GM of Death Smile, so I won't move her until the last day. But one of the reasons that I like to do the Warlock too is you can see it's I really like the fact that she can still blast with no gear, and her damage is terrible, but you know, for our purposes here running around a Slayer zone, it's, you would notice that her damage was awful if I went into an elite quest, which is why we'll go back to Porthos and run those, because those Porthos elite quests are easy. If we were to do the quests out here on elite, they can be very challenging. Oh, and it also looked like I shrined and I got to keep that water affinity buff. So I am not going to use this fountain because I don't want to overwrite that buff. I have to be careful of getting swarmed. I have a bunch of really scary mobs chasing me around, and I have a shaman shooting spells at me. Normally you kill spellcasters first, but he's sort of behind the tree. I don't really need to worry about him, and it looks like he forgot about me. There's a rare. I'm gonna run to all the rares, just in case you guys don't know the path. I'm showing you the path. These blights can do a trip line and trip you. You have to be really careful that you don't, you know, if you fight them and you're around a lot of other monsters.
You find a grave here in the brush.
Things can go bad really quickly. Another thing you'll see what I do is I'm constantly moving, strafing and jumping and stuff. It's because a lot of times the physics in DDO allow you to move out of the way of certain things. So let's look at the loot. I can't use this maul. I'll sell it. I already have these, so I'm selling those. This is more money, and I got an ethereal ingot, which will allow me to buy something that is super important for every character to have. I can trade that in for a throwing weapon, and this one will be a ghost touch throwing weapon. So not only could I use that on a character where I threw, let's say I made a ranged character, but every character should have the ability to shoot a lever from far away. So you want to have a throwing weapon, a returning throwing weapon on every character. You can see I also got another quail feather. So we'll run to the next rare. Watch out for these wolves. Okay, and you can see the path that I'm taking. We left the keep, and then we hit all of the chests. The rare, we got the little mudman. The rare at the top of the hill here wasn't there. We ran around into the spider den. The spider was there. The dinosaur was not there. Pinchy was there. The ogre wasn't there. And the little goblin general was not there. The undead guy was there, which is right there. And now up ahead there should be a harpy, I think. Oh, and you can see too, without a XP potion, without anything, just coming here, I managed to get to level 2. So I will recall once we get all the rares, and I will take level 2. Yeah, so something I should probably show you guys while I'm running out here against these ranged is that you can run out of the way of the arrows. Any ranged, any spells that something shoots at you, you can strafe and move and evade yourself. You don't have to let the game evade it for you. You can do it yourself. So I'm in a really bad situation right now because I just got swarmed by monsters that I didn't see. So I'm going to trust to my skills. Hopefully I don't get trip lined and I don't get tripped by any of these wolves, and I can get them. See, I got really lucky. It could have gone bad. I could have gotten tripped, and then I would have gotten swarmed while on the ground, prone, and with only 60% of my hit points, there is a really good chance with no ability to heal that I could have died. And then you would see, I don't even think you see a death message for a level 1 character. I missed? Maybe he isn't there? There should be. Oh, no, he is there. Yeah, I ran right by it. So again, since this is an area where I'm going to do the best I can to push into the ground and slide so I don't free fall. And then run around here, and this is the harpy. And we can hit her from far away. She's a spellcaster, so we want to keep moving. Oh, I got another really useful buckler, although I think the one I'm wearing is more useful, but +1 dodge is great. Negative resistance. These are super helpful because at low level, anybody can search and find traps and secret doors. Not all traps. You're not actually even supposed to be able to find traps, but sometimes you can find traps that aren't hidden. So all the Korthos traps, I'm pretty sure anybody can find. Some of the harbor quests, I think you can find the boxes for them. But more helpful is the secret doors. You really have to have a way to find secret doors in DDO. Secret doors are usually very useful. And so that's another reason why you'd want to run with a group and run with a trapper who can absolutely find secret doors for you, because some quests are made a lot easier if you can get through the secret doors. I got another quail feather. So I will actually put these goggles on and check and see. There isn't really anything else I can use. I can't disable or open locks, so they won't help me. Yeah, nothing else in here is useful for me to wear, so now I have to be careful. I have to slide. And coming up, there's a big jump up ahead. There's also a lot of monsters up here. I have to be really careful. We have no feather falling. We have not yet found one of the things that we came out here to find, which was a cloak of featherfall. So here we can get to the point where we can slide and get into the water. These crabs shoot like a ocean spray at us or something.
Enchanted stones stand in a ring. The weathered pillars look like they've been here for a very long time.
In honor of Standing Stone Games. I'm going to run all the way up. And then again, we need to be careful. Make sure you slide the best you can. And like I said, it's not a guarantee, so you still have to be careful.
Small, squalid cave entrances dot the ravine walls. These must be the Caves of Chaos, where the cultists and their monster allies have made their base.
So this is where all the quests are, if you wanted to start doing the quests, but we are just looking for the rares so we can loot a cloak of feather falling, and we are going to use this rest shrine since I know I won't lose my ice buff that I got from the fountain. Make sure these kobolds aren't going to bother me. The quests out here are very fun, by the way. We want to be careful about these wolves. Wolves are terrifying. You have low armor class. If you're squishy, if you're wearing a robe like me, if you have no business being out in the wilds like this character with no healing potions, no horse, no means of survival at all, wolves can be the death of you so fast. If you take away one thing that I've said about this Hardcore League video, preparation planning is that show wolves respect when you're at low level, because they can kill you. So yeah, there's a lot of crates here. We break crates. Why? Because they can hold items. Yay, here's a potion of healing. They hold items, they hold money. And on a server where you have nothing, I mean, come on, this is fantastic. This is like Christmas, and it really is almost Christmas. I mean, actually, it's almost Thanksgiving, but still. In America, it's almost Thanksgiving, that is. We're headed into the end of November. To avoid getting their trip line, I jump around like a jackass, as they say. There are a lot of players who think jumping around like a jackass is for jackasses, but I personally think it is a phenomenal way to play because it demonstrates an understanding of the physics of this game. That you can evade attacks yourself by moving, by getting out of the way. There's nothing guaranteed. If they shoot at you with a bow and arrow, you certainly can jump out of the way of that bow and arrow. You don't have to stand there and take it. I believe that the mad hermit is up ahead. They only take force damage because they're immune to fire. You will see death messages. Those beetles, if you get close enough to them, they'll breathe fire and they can kill you. Now, you'd have to really try hard at dying to let them kill you by maybe going AFK and eating a hamburger while you're logged into the game or something. But I have seen death messages where they do kill people.
Even though the caves of chaos are just
don't
over
take
the
it
hill.
for granted. There should be some type of reward if you get killed by those beetles, though. But don't be the person who's killed by the fire beetles in Hardcore League. Orcs are scary. They're scarier than goblins. Why? Because they trip. See, we didn't even need his help. He's gonna give us a reward. Oh, I got another shield. And a silver ingot. I mean, I can get another weapon. I could get a silver throwing weapon with this. I did get a ring, which gives me perform and devotion. Now, I am not doing any sonic damage, so I don't need perform, and I am not casting healing spells, so I don't need devotion. So none of that stuff is useful. Let's see what my encumbrance is. Okay, I'm still light. That's something else you have to pay attention to. When you play DDO, if you're carrying a lot of gear and you go from being a light load to a medium or heavy, if you have evasion and you go from light to medium, in medium or heavy you cannot evade. You're too heavy. You have to lighten your load a little bit. So this is one of those things where you can see you can just jump and free fall, but I don't recommend it. There's usually a rare here, but he's not up. He's usually right here. But we have some wolves to deal with. There's some boxes, crates. See if there's any potions for me. Nope. There's cows. We'll leave the nice cows alone. Okay, I'm headed back to the keep. We just did our big circle. And we will go get the crests to do the special chest since we're out here. And I'll stay level 1 to do that because you don't really need... there's the chest for it right there.
You get an uneasy feeling as you approach this ancient
you can
altar.
see we need the we need the crests. So I got the spider crest, but I need to find the other two. Now there is an explorer area for the keep that you don't get when you zone in, that you have to run back to it to get it. So there's the front door.
The keep on the Borderlands was built to protect this valley.
So to find those other
Constant
two
monster
crests,
attacks
I need
have
to go
driven
to
the valley's residents to
Lizardman
take
village,
refuge behind the keep's walls.
which is down over here. Now here are some more of those deadly fire beetles. Yeah, they shoot fire out like it, like Scorch. It's like when a sorcerer does Scorch. And if you're not careful, so here is the mound. What I call Weathertop, but that's not what it's called. Amansul, where Frodo was stabbed by the Witch King with a Morgul blade. So here we get to fight lizard folk, which, if you've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, lizard men they have been in the game forever. They were the first set of little lead figurines that I got and painted when I was a kid. I got this box of lizard men. Still have
This
them.
was once a great and impressive tower,
All
but it
the
was
lead
reduced to rubble
figurines
in
from
a
when I was
battle
a kid.
long ago.
I think they're pewter, but I think some of the really old ones were actually lead. Which might explain why I'm sort of an idiot, because I was, you know, holding lead and painting lead and... Alright, so we need to find the Lizardman village is right there. You can see from the watchtower. You look, it's right there. So we're going to slide. And, oh, there's a named up. Yeah, we got lucky. Well, let's hope that we get a feather falling cloak. They increase the range of the Eldritch Blast, so now I can hit things from pretty far away. Alright, now I'm going to show you what I mean here with these snipers. You see how he's shooting at me with the bow and arrow? The arrows work pretty fast, but if you see, look, you can see I'm getting out of the way of these things by moving around, giving him a moving target. As if I just sat there, he would shoot me. But if you move, you can avoid some damage. That one just shot way up. You can follow them. Oh, there's a caster. You know, we want to take out casters first. He's also somebody that you jump around because a lot of spells require them to shoot a ray or at you, and the ray has the same physics as a bow and arrow. You can jump out of the way. You can jump out of the way of disintegrates. Beholder disintegrates. All the eye rays from beholders. You can jump and avoid them. The only one that you can't avoid is when they turn that big eye at you. And you get the anti-magic because it's like a cone. But they're little... if the eye stalk is shooting a ray at you, then you can jump out of the way of it. So it's good to jump around fighting them too. And you have to fight beholders on the hardcore league. You can't, you know, if you're going for 5,000 favor, that means that you're doing most of the quests. Hey, we got it. There it is. This is why we came out here. And this is exactly why this area is so cool. Because not only did we get level 2 and some platinum, which we'll get even more once we go and sell this stuff, but we got The feather falling cloak. This cloak is not a cloak that I would wear anyway. It's hide and diplomacy, two things that I'm probably not. Diplomacy is good for anybody. Alluring skills are always good to have. All your characters you make, you want to have at least one alluring skill, especially in the new expansion. Alluring skills are very useful, but they're just useful. It's good to have them on a character. So there we go. There's our feather falling cloak, and I believe that I have 2 of the crests. I put one in. I've got the bat. The 3rd crest is in this village somewhere. We just need to find it. It's somewhere around here. So I will break the barrels and get the money. Some money. There's the crest. These lizard folk are probably going to find me, so I will attack them first. There's a sniper. Oh, he wants to get rid of me. Hello, Mr. Sniper. I'm up here to break these barrels just because there's a bunch of them. And I want the money. You know, I have nothing. This is how you have to think when you are on a server with nothing. See how slow I fell? I was not even used to that. With the feather falling, I'm still used to. So now we won't accidentally die from falling. Mission accomplished. So yeah, while I'm running back to get this chest, something that we can talk about is very important. That if you are going for 5,000 favor, you pretty much have to plan on doing every quest. Every heroic quest. Now that's not true. There are quests you can skip, and on the DDO forums there's really helpful information about which somebody made a wonderful spreadsheet that's very helpful that lists out which quests are worth skipping because they're so difficult. A great example of that is Temple of Elemental Evil Part 2. That particular quest is just very, very challenging, and it's not at all worth doing, so you can skip it. And the truth is that you can get plenty of favor, you know, even skipping a few quests like that. But for the majority of quests, you want to do them, and you want to do them on Elite, unless your goal is just to get to level 20. If you said to me, hey, I just want to get to level 20 and get the cloak, what do I need to do? What you need to do is make the class that you play the best and do every quest on normal. Do the really easy early quests on Elite. I'm talking all the really early easy ones because you can over level them so much. You can go in harbor level 2s at level 6. In a group, you guys can just stomp all of those on Elite. But once you're a little bit higher level, do everything on normal, and make sure that you have an ability to heal, lots of healing potions. Make sure you're on a character that you like to play, that you feel that you play well, and you get to level 20 that way. The other thing that I would tell you is doing normal quests. If all you care about is getting to level 20, then go out to the Slayer zones like this. You see, I already got to level 2. And Slayer zones are normal level content. You just run around, and you can get to level 20 super easy, super safe, doing Slayer zones and all normal level questing. You don't need to step into a harder Elite after level 6. You know, like I said, you can do them earlier because they're usually easy, but if you're brand new, just stick with normal. You can do it. Getting to level 20 is easy. Another secret is you can hard streak and get 1750. You don't need to do Elite. I mean, I would do the early ones, really easy ones on Elite, but if you don't want to, if you don't feel comfortable, you can certainly hit 1750 doing a mix of mostly hard, normal, and maybe some of the easier Elites. You can do it. The 1750 and the 20, level 20, really easy mix. Here's the guy, put all the crests in. There's the summon Dretch. That is what the season 2 pet looks like, and you can see they're kind of gross. I didn't like it, so, but I really like the Archon. I didn't really get anything useful, so I'm just gonna sell all this stuff. Oh, and an interesting thing about the Archon, it's a pet, so once you unlock it, it's always there, and you can summon it just like any other pet. And I happen to really like these. They're cute, and for me, as a flavor, I like it. So we have hit, that is the circuit for rares. It's not all of the, you can see, I didn't do all the explorers. There's 6 areas that are on the other side of the keep that I didn't find. We didn't get all the rares, but we got 9 of them, and if you run that route that I just ran, you can come across all of them. There may be one I'm forgetting about, but off the top of my head, I think that was all of them. So we're gonna come in here and we'll see how well we did. So the first thing we want to do is talk to this guy with level 2 ingots. I want to make a couple of weapons. I want to make, and see, this dude, if you stay out here and farm these, you can get yourself a really good rune arm for level 1 if you make an artificer, which artificers are a very solid, popular choice for Hardcore League. If you make yourself a Warforged artificer and go inquisitive, I mean, they're solid. You could do all 5/5 on that character. You may have trouble if you stick with repeaters as you get above level 10-ish to level, I think level 10, but some people use them a little later than that. They just don't scale that well. Low levels, they wreck everything, but I think the better thing to do is to switch to inquisitive once you get higher up, because the inquisitive damage will be better for you, better than the repeater. So I want 2 things. Impulse, which is kinetic lore. You can see if you read, there's passive force, physical and untyped, and impulse is force damage. Since part of my DPS as a warlock is fire and part is force, I want to get the impulse scepter, so there's that. And I can't use it until I level up, but, and then the other one I want to get is the combustion, which is fire. There's that. And then I mentioned to you that I can get myself a throwing weapon, which is very important for any character to have. And I will get myself an ethereal throwing dagger. It's ghost touch, it's returning, and it has a slot. There we go. So now I'm going to go take level 2 as a warlock. At 3 points, UMD is super required for a warlock, because that's how you are going to heal yourself with cure wands and later on heal scrolls. Spellcraft is your DPS, and then concentration you need for when you try to cast in combat, whether or not you're interrupted. And then bluff is an allure skill that gives you the ability to bypass certain things in quests. Since I'm on a warlock and I'm not getting disrupted concentration, I can sort of skip. I'm going to take bluff. for now. Later on, if I find a tome, an intelligence tome, I will throw points back into concentration. But for now, that's good. As a fire sork, all of my DPS with impulse and fire come out of spellcraft. If I were a fae, I would get sonic damage, and then I would need to take perform because sonic damage comes from perform. If I were whatever the undead pact is, I forget what it's called, but it's negative energy, then I would need to take heal as my other skill because heal does positive and negative energy. The second spell I want, and there's a lot of useful spells in here. I could take shield, but what I'll likely do is buy some scrolls for when I'm running around. Actually, you know what? Yeah, since I am playing this as I would play it, shield is the most important spell to keep me alive right now. I will swap that out later, though. Once I unlock... Enlightened Spirit has a shield, a permanent shield. Once I unlock that, then I will respec and take jump, because jump is also super useful for Hardcore League. But so we've got both of our casting sticks. We're getting rid of our little shield there, and now we have our damage from both of the items in our hand will be greatly increased. And then this is our throwing dagger if we ever need to hit a lever from far away. We will move this here and put that there. These are my little reminders. Now we'll go to the store and we will sell. Isn't that great? We can featherfall now. We will sell and see how much money we made. I took no damage. Look at all those glorious guards. And because my charisma is high, my haggle is not terrible. I mean, it's, let's be honest, it's terrible, but it's better than it would be if it were 0, right? So I can get money selling these, and I'm just going to sell everything. I'm not going to use any of this stuff. Nothing here is useful. I mean, somebody could say, well, you could use these electric resist potions. Yes, but for right now, I think it's better if I take the money from these and buy some healing potions. I'll show you where to go after here. This is why we do this route. It's very carefully planned because it will allow us to go and... I'm just going to sell everything and buy some healing potions before we do Korthos. So there we go. We have almost 1,000 platinum. I mean, that's phenomenal. We have some items. We're not naked anymore. I've got 2 water-breathing items. Search spot. I leveled up to level 2. I need to spend some of the... what I will eventually do is respec. I want to get cone as fast as I can, but that is quite a bit of a buy. You can see I need at least 10 points in the tree to get cone, which means I probably can't get cone until I'm somewhere in the level 4 range. So prior to that, then I'll respec anything that I spend now to get cone once I have enough points to just get it. But prior to that, I will take things that will help me survive, and that is out of the Enlightened Spirit. Right now I have 0 PRR and 0 MRR, so I will likely spend these points going for that for right now, considering that I'm wearing nothing. So now I have 4 and 2. Still, it's terrible, but it's better than nothing. My saves are craptacular, no fortification to speak of. The only thing I've got going for me is my Drow spell resistance. One of the reasons that I love Drow. And so if you look at my build too, for this particular character, she takes as her first feat toughness on the Hardcore League server. If this were a live server, it'd be different. But like I said, this is the Hardcore League. So toughness for this build, because this tune will, this is my Reaper tune build. So I focus on my DC for DPS later on when I'm trying to hurl things on Reaper. And then I focus on getting, a somewhat extra hit points. Toughness really doesn't matter once you get into where you need thousands of hit points. But in heroics, it helps. You could always go to Fred and slot it out for something else later. But for now, toughness is great. And so from Keep on the Borderlands, you could go back out and farm out all of the Slayer Zone. Get all of the XP from killing all of that 1500. You could get all of the rares. You could keep farming the chests. You could keep selling the loot. And you can see that was just one run. We did almost 1,000 platinum. You could do that 3 or 4 or 5 times and get yourself 4,000 or 5,000 platinum. That is a fantastic start for our Hardcore League. It didn't take us that long either, under an hour. So right now I go back to Korthos. This is where we started. Remember, we started right here and we ran to take care of the mailbox. We haven't even picked up the first quest. This is the first quest. They're hearing strange noises come from the crypt. They want us to investigate and find out what those noises are. The secret is that it's an evil cult that's bringing all of their dead back to life, but we won't scare them and tell them that. But another reason why I wanted to show you, we'll wrap this video up. I'm going to continue in another section, but we'll wrap this video up with, I'm in Korthos at this general vendor, and one of the most fantastic things is that he sells starter healing potions, and they are super cheap. 5 platinum, and you can get as many as you want. So it looks like, I have almost 1,000 platinum. I am going to buy myself a stack of 30. I still have this money. Now what am I going to do with that money? You can see you can buy weapons, you can buy throwing items, you can buy thieves tools here, you can buy spell reagents here, you can repair here. But what do I want to do before I start doing these quests? Well, the next thing that I would recommend that you do, and again, I'm level 2 now. I've got feather falling on, so I'm safe running around. I don't have to have a panic attack every time I fall. We already got our reward from this guy, but if you haven't, now that you're level 2, you want to try him again and see if you can. What we want to do is take a look and see. No, he doesn't sell them. I think we need to go to the market. I'm looking for someone who sells potions. In some of the Korthos quests, it's really helpful to have the level 1 barbarian. He is a Warforged barbarian. This guy sells the level 1 and the level 3. It really doesn't matter if you're in a group or if you're running with your friend. You could both grab the barbarian, or one of you could grab a level 1 cleric to take with you, or a level 1 favored soul. I like the barbarian because they do a lot of damage at low level, and in Korthos they can usually one-shot the mobs that you end up fighting there on even on Elite. So it's useful. They're also a target. So there is that one quest where you need to defend the gem. Um, it makes it much, much easier if you are short manning these quests. But on the hardcore league, you shouldn't really have to short man them because there will be groups. So you probably won't need to buy a hireling unless somebody in the group wants a cleric or something to heal if somebody isn't already a healer. So here we're going to take some of our money and we're going to buy a wand. And what wands here? Anybody can buy these wands. Well, Wand of Shield. Super useful. Anybody should buy one of these, no matter, even if it's only a 25% chance for you to use it or whatever, because you could put a shield on yourself and protect yourself against magic missiles. It's very handy. Another thing that's handy are these wands of energy resist. You can take them. They will give you a DR10. They don't last very long. It's only 3 minutes, but it can help you. And then they have healing wands. And I am looking for the Cure Light Wounds. So there we go. I have a 90% chance to activate a Cure Light Wounds wand. That's not going to heal me for a lot, but it's going to be enough that I could, and they're not expensive. You can see they're 86. So if I buy 2 of them and the shield wand, I still have money. And I've got my 31 potions. Now I have... Put these all here. So I can get rid of this shield scroll. And there's my healing potion, healing wand, my potion, and then here is my shield. If I need to throw up a shield. Got my one spell right now, command. I didn't command anybody, but if I need to, I can. And now we're going to buy potions from this guy. First, I will lock these so I don't accidentally sell them. I'll sell that. And I want to buy a couple of things. I want to get a blindness removal potion in case something casts blind on me. I want a curse removal potion. I want a disease removal potion. I want a fear. Actually, the fear are very cheap. Right now, I have no way to remove fear or to be fear immune. If I were a tiefling, I would be fear immune. But I'm going to get a couple of those. And I also want to buy a lesser... these are 30, so I'll get 3 of those. And poison. You can see that is all I can afford. At 468, that's going to leave me. But that covers me. If I get poisoned, if I take ability damage, if I get feared, if I get diseased, cursed, or blinded, I have the ability now, because this is the hardcore server, and I might be alone somewhere, or separated from my buddies, and not able to get a heal, or for them to help me out. I need to be able to take care of these things on my own. And so I want to make sure that, you know, I have these things readily available. And, you know, you could get ability damage that causes you to become helpless. You could get diseased that gives you ability damage. So these lesser restores are very important at this low level. Blind is sort of rare, but you certainly can get blinded. It's unlikely a curse or a disease would kill you or a poison would kill you, but they would give you ability damage. So if you have the ability to remove it quickly, that is very helpful. Some of the other things that I will pin are things that I use often. So for example, my travel. And actually, you know what? I'm going to move these things. I like to put all my travel there. And I also like to pin this basic attack because sometimes you can click this on you know, if you, let's say, were fighting a lot of things melee or ranged, click this on and off. So I usually have it. And I also like to have this dismiss charm on a bar somewhere in case I have something charmed that I need to get rid of quickly. It's worth pinning those. And then I pin one of these empties in case I want to free my hands quickly. I can click that and everything will be knocked out of my hands. So you can see what I'm talking about. She's got her 2 scepters. I click that and it drops the scepters. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any reason why I'd want to do that right now, but over the years of me playing this game, I have found that to be useful. So I usually pin that. So there's that. So now I have 24 platinum left, which is enough to repair. I have wands, potions. I have protection. I can do the ultra scary thing about closing my eyes and jumping, and I know here that I'm not going to insta-die because I have Feather Falling. And we will head back to Korthos and do all those quests. I'm going to end the video here, but I will be picking it up, and what we'll talk about is some of the quests that I think are absolutely worth doing multiple times because you can farm them for gear and you can farm them for money, and I will tell you what quests I think are just absolute crap that you should skip. Like I said, if you're going for 5,000 favor though, there's not many quests that you want to skip early on. As a matter of fact, I think you want to do every quest that is level 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think. I don't think you skip a quest until maybe even all the level 5s too. I'll have to look, but we'll go over that in a different video. But in the meantime, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a good one. Stay safe. I hope your adventures go well, and I will catch you next time. Join us for more. I plan to do lore videos for each quest in DDO, as well as the raids. Plus, I will be releasing more Session 0 videos for DDO on topics such as player character races, the religions of Eberron, the Last War, and the Mournlands, the Dragon Marks, the Dragon Marked houses, and much, much more. Click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below. I like interacting with other players. My main tune in DDO is named Mary. I am on Sarlona. I also have a guild on the Hardcore League. My guild is Death Smile. Please say hi if you're on either of those servers. Subscribe to see more Adventure AI content about DDO, Dungeons & Dragons Online, and gaming in general. I also play Star Wars The Old Republic. You can join us at Adventure AI on Discord. Check us out on Twitch. Check us out on Twitter. You can go to our Patreon and become a patron of the channel, where you would get access to all of the scripts, the images, the music, the videos, as well as behind the scenes, and the ability to request topics for me to make future videos. Thanks very much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope your adventures go well.